Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 5th grade concept of dividing whole numbers and unit fractions. This is standard 5.3L in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 29 off the 2018 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and then we will look at our answers together. So we've got 16 pies on a picnic table. Each pie is cut into 1/8 of a piece here, and we need to know how many pieces there are on the table. So let's see if we can draw a visual here. I'm going to draw some pies. I'm just going to draw them. I'll just do a 4x4 array here. These are going to be my 16 pies. But I want to see if I can figure out a pattern. I don't really feel like cutting each of these 16 pies into eighths. It's possible, but that would take an awful lot of drawing. Not sure you want to watch all that. So let me just take this top pie right here on the left, and I need to cut it into eighths. So I know how to do that. So I'm going to cut it into fourths, and then use some diagonals to cut my fourths in half. And there we go, I've got 8 pieces. And so really what I'm doing, if I wanted to draw a strip diagram, would be I can say I've got my 16 total pies, and I'm cutting them into eighths. And my question is, how many eighths are there in those 16 pies? Well, I've got 8 pieces right here. So I guess rather than just drawing the eighths, I could just write the number 8 because I know that there's going to be 8 pieces. So really it almost looks like it's turning into a multiplication problem, because look, I've got 16 pies. Each pie is going to have 8 pieces. So let's see what we have here. 16 times 8. Well, 6 times 8 is 48. That's going to be 8, add the 4 is 1,228 pieces of pie. Well, that is an answer choice D. Now, how did I start with a division problem and end up with a multiplication problem? Well, it's this really interesting thing called a reciprocal. A reciprocal is a number that when you multiply it by another number, turns the product into 1. So here's an example. If I wanted to multiply 2 times something and get it to 1, which is smaller, you multiply it by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal would be 1/2. Any whole number, you can put it over 1 to make it a fraction. You multiply straight across. 2 over 2, which equals 1. But take a look. I just took 2, I flipped it upside down, made it the denominator, put 1 as the numerator, and that's your reciprocal. So almost think of it like the opposite. Same thing if I wanted to do 4. If I multiply 4 by 1/4, guess what you're going to get? 4 over 4, which equals 1, because 4 and 1/4 are reciprocals. So here's the interesting thing. What I actually did was I did my 16, and I divided it by 1/8. And we already got our answer. We got 128, which normally when you divide, you get smaller numbers. But in this case, we got a much, much larger number. The reason that happened is because we ended up dividing by something smaller than 1. So each of these 1/8 turned into 8 little pieces here. So if you are ever needing to divide by a fraction, what you can do is use the reciprocal. Watch this. Dividing by 1/8 is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, and the reciprocal of 1/8 is 8. Remember, 8 times 1/8 is going to get you 1. So if you flip it to the reciprocal, and now pay attention, you also have to flip the operation to its inverse operation. So dividing by 1/8 is the exact same as multiplying by 8. And our picture shows it, and that gets us to 128, which is D.